One. Dude, Vic, what's going on? Dude?
Oh my God, Richard, what is going on, man?
I love that Jameson bottle that you got in the background. That's what's up.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Is that on purpose?
No. No.
Dude, so this is the product of when you're
Look at us, dude.
Cheers, buddy. Cheers.
Cheers. As you were saying?
This is the product of, and this is why I love having a podcast, which is when you're on the phone with your boy having a discussion and it turns from work discussion to a fun discussion and you just stop everything and you're just
like, whoa. This is too much fun.
This is too much fun. We have to record this. We have to record this. Where did we leave off? We were talking about video games, dude. We were talking about the first system that we had as kids, or the first system that we remember as kids. Do you remember what the first system that you ever had was?
Yeah, absolutely, brother. What are we saying here? Oh my God, I had so many systems, but the first one was actually the Sega Genesis.
Sega Genesis was your first?
Sega Genesis only had 6 buttons? That's what we're talking about? No,
I don't know. I've played the Sega Genesis, but I've never owned one, so I'm not familiar with the control. Dude, that cup is way too big.
It was like the controller was like a spaceship. And then on top of that, one of my first games was like Sonic Pinball, which, wasn't really like, okay, so yeah, I had Sonic Pinball. That's all I could really remember. I don't really, you couldn't just download games back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, kids today have no clue. They have no clue. Dude, my cousin calls me, and he didn't call me. We actually spoke about this. I don't know why I said call, but we were talking, and he was telling me, oh, his kids got a Nintendo Switch for their birthday. And
I know, I get what you're going with this.
And he's like, what should I get them as games? And I'm like, well, you could just give them gift cards for a certain amount of money and they can choose what games that they want online and they could just download it. Which is so absurd because I think to myself when we were growing up, because we're not too far apart in age, we had to decide what game we wanted ahead of time.
We saw these in a magazine. Like when you're at the supermarket, when you're about to cash out.
You heard it. You heard it from rumors. It's just like, I know, right? Oh, did you hear the new this is coming out? And you had to do your research, and then you had to go.
No YouTube.
There was YouTube was a thing, but it wasn't the place to go find all these crazy reviews.
Yeah, YouTube was there, but there was just no videos of it.
Exactly. Well, today, if you go on YouTube, you find reviews of every single game. You get game tutorials. You get all the cheat codes. I remember the first time I saw a Pokemon cheat code, it was like somebody that I knew showed it to me. And I had to remember it and how it worked because then I had to do it myself to make sure it works. It was crazy.
I know. Speaking of cheat codes, one of the first cheat codes that I ever memorized was in Grand Theft Auto 3, man. I think we were also having a conversation.
Yeah, we were up, down, left, right, up, left. It's like up, down, left, right, L1, R1, up. Something like that?
Yeah, it's R1. Hold on, it's
R1.
There we go. There we go. Had to pull it off real quick, But this
R1, L1, up, down, left, right, up.
Yep, exactly. But speaking of this, you remember the first one that didn't have like the 2 joystick in there?
Yeah.
The PS1, dude. Yeah.
No, the PlayStation has always had a joystick.
Now the one.
I'm pretty sure it's always had a. No, I'm an idiot. It did.
And then number 2, and then PS2 came in. We're like, what the fuck is this? Like, what is going on?
I'm looking it up right now. PlayStation PS1 controller.
PS1 controller.
I'm
no
looking it up.
analogs, because then they made one with it.
And you know what, Vic? You are right.
Come on, dude.
PlayStation controller without it, and yep, I'm making it up. I've lost my mind.
But it goes like this: you would lose it if you lose those two joysticks nowadays. Like, you would lose it. You're like, what?
Well, every system now has a joystick, I believe.
Absolutely. I feel like one of the most comfortable controller that I ever held. Definitely have to go with the GameCube.
Really?
Like, I give the GameCube an 8 out of a 10, honestly.
With the ergonomics of the GameCube. That's an interesting.
And one of the Super Mario Sunshine, the best game, hands down, that GameCube ever threw down, man.
Really?
Yes.
So, I'm a very big fan of Smash Bros. Melee.
Oh no, but that doesn't that doesn't even count, because you're supposed to like that game. like, first off, when I saw, I think it was it on GameCube? I think it was on GameCube, where like the graphics are so legit now that when you're fighting at Super Smash Bros. And you press start, it zooms into your character.
Mm-hmm.
You could literally see the stitches on like Mario's Tims, dude. I was just like, I was like, yo, these things are getting out of hand right now. I'm like, because before he was just the blue character, you know what I'm saying? Like, with just blue overalls and yellow boots. Like, that's all you see. But now you see the stitching on the jeans and everything. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
That's the development. I was watching it, dude. Which is funny, because I was watching a video last night of a gamer who was trying to get his TV to game in 8K resolution. Okay. And I was thinking to myself while that was happening, like, who really needs 8K resolution gaming? Like, how realistic does your gaming need to be for you to see? Like, you need to see everything in some.
Yeah, man. Yeah. There's people that I really like. I mean, I got friends that play on PC. For example, one of my best friends, one of my awesome friends, I hope he is watching this video, Lorenzo. He is a gamer, but he does it through PC.
Well, that's the way to do it, because PC will get you better graphics. Cards. Yeah, and then you'll be able to do more with the resolution and streaming and things like that. So PC is really the way to go, because if you're playing with a controller and you're playing against someone who has a PC, you're not going to win against the PC, because they have more things that they can do with it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No, that experience, don't trust me. No, you ain't got to tell me.
I just also realized that now we're talking about gaming. We've pretty much isolated a demographic for this podcast. Like, any female who watches this podcast has now realized that, 10, 15 minutes in, we're only talking about gaming. They've now shut it down and they're not watching it anymore. But there are female gamers.
You used to beat me all the fucking time, bro. Hey, listen.
And he means that not because
listen.
He's upset.
It doesn't mean because okay, it goes like this. First off, growing up, I always saw boys playing like video games. You know what I'm trying to say? And then you get onto this mic, and you're live, and you get a headshot, and it's this girl like just giggling. You're like, whoa. What's going on? Which I don't have a problem, obviously. This doesn't have to do nothing with like John, like, you know what I'm saying, like, oh, it's a female male thing, you know what I'm trying to say. But as growing up, you know what I'm trying to say, you always go to your boys' house, and they would actually in today, there's actually so many fucking like female gamers, bro, and they're so bad, like at like shooting dudes. Like, I'm talking about like in a good way. Like, they're so good at it. Like, they're good at it. Oh my god! Like, I used to have a teammate in Overwatch. Oh my god. This girl was too nice. Like, she was too nice.
Well, I think there
was this character called Widowmaker, and she snipes. Oh my god, that's all you hear. Vic, watch this. It was crazy. I was like, dude, like, it was amazing. It was amazing, man.
I think that's so when you grow up, you think to yourself, okay, boys are sports, video games,
And girls are dolls,
doll houses, things like that, playing teak party, whatever nonsense. I don't know. I was a boy. I grew up doing boy shit. I don't know what women were doing when they were young.
I have sisters and all that stuff, so I pretty much saw them grow up. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what they,
Yeah, it's like, dolls and but here's the thing, like that's a thing that when you're
that's where my sister learned how to braid, like dolls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like,
so we automatically just assume that girls are not going to be playing video games, and then you become an adult and you try to be a soldier in Call of Duty, and this this girl just whoops you at it.
And you're like, what? I'm like, and
this doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but it goes like this. What I've noticed is they play smarter than men, though.
Oh, wow.
Like the real gamer girls, they're smarter.
Wow, that's big.
Hey, listen, I'm just saying, I'm like, dude, I was watching this car show, right?
Yeah.
And at first, this woman is like messing up. Like I feel like they got to go through challenges. I think it's called like Super Speed, Hyper Speed on Netflix, whatever.
Yeah.
And there's this episode where like these dudes are like, the best drifter or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then this girl comes up and she starts driving. She's a little bit slower, and I'm actually watching this episode with somebody, and I was like, watch why women are smarter than men. Just watch. she started messing up. She was going to look. If I look up the episode, you're gonna see what I'm talking about. But I was just like, I just told the person I'm watching, I'm like, watch why women are smarter than men. Watch, dude. This girl won all of a sudden in first place. Why? Because I swear to God, there's this obstacle that you have to go through, right? You have to balance the bridge, right?
Yeah.
She was just so patient with it that she saved and she won so many times on because every other dude was being so aggressive with it. They were like, they couldn't balance.
That's our nature. That's our nature.
Yeah. And it was so nice. Mind you, she was going bad. She was crashing and all that stuff. And when she got to this obstacle, man, let me tell you something. She balanced that thing out and she saved herself. She won 20 seconds, 15, 20 seconds, down the clock.
Well, because that's the difference between men and women, man. Like,
that's what I was like, watch this.
Because that's the thing. Because in most situations, I would say from experience, is that when men see an obstacle in front of them, their mindset is, I'm just going to go through this obstacle no matter what. But women start to navigate themselves around it and start figuring out ways to make things better for themselves. And men just see an obstacle and they're like, oh, okay, there's a wall right here. You know what I mean? If you put a wall right here and you put a man and a woman in front of that wall, the man's just gonna try to run through the wall. Maybe he's gonna run over the wall, try to climb over it, and the woman's gonna look at the wall, see the door,
just open it.
Well, just open it and walk through.
And just walk through. Oh my God. Hey, listen, man, it really be like that. But listen, going back to the topic too, when it comes to video games, these I don't know if other people might understand me, but
yeah,
it's always, for me, I looked at it as more like a stress reliever.
Absolutely.
It's like, so this is what I used to do back in the day when I didn't want to get into those bad habits or be out every weekend, whatever. I used to just get a new game. You know what I'm trying to say? And it would save me money. It would save me, time doing bad stuff. Whenever I was feeling down, I'm just you know what? I'm just gonna go for a drive in GTA. I'm not even jumping. I'm just gonna go buy a whip.
Listen, the biggest contraceptive in the world is not condoms. It's video games. You can't. There's a lot of children that were not born from video games because you were too busy trying to get that win in the war zone instead of talking to that chick.
Oh yeah, man.
Speaking of, you don't have as many Warzone wins as I do, but that's another discussion for another day.
Oh my God, shaking my head. Shaking my head. No, yeah, but
get your wins up, Vic.
I'm just there for fun.
Absolutely.
I'm just
You're right
like,
though. You're right though. You're absolutely right that there's this demographic of the world that uses video games as a stress relief. Like you come home from a long day of work and you've been dealing with that office bullshit and you think to yourself, how am I going to decompress? And different people have different methods. And for some people that is gaming.
yeah, man. Like for example, like you will never, it's pretty rare me seeing and being like in a comfortable stage, like being pissed off, just because I always try to put myself positive. You know what I'm trying to say? Because I have also experienced people that get really mad at video games. And I'm just like, dude, if you really think about it, you're controlling the character. You just suck. Like, I am, you know, like, I am just so sorry. But it'd be like that, you know?
Dude, I'm sorry to be a little bit like distracted here. I'm texting one of my boys here. I'm trying to get him to join in. This might be one of those podcasts that we start with 2 people and turn it into a 3-person thing. We'll see if he joins in. Yeah, send the text message, see if it works out. But yeah, no, you are 100% right. You are 100% right that, you know, it is a way for us to, it's like you said, you're having a shitty day and you're just like, yeah, let me turn on Grand Theft Auto. Let me go for a drive. All right. Let me just go for a drive in GTA. And you just
do a mission or 2, maybe.
Yeah. Go for a drive in GTA, do a mission. And then all of a sudden, and this is why I love Call of Duty so much, is that if I sign on to Call of Duty, a couple of my boys are online and they're playing. So it's a way for you to meet up with friends. And I have friends that I've met through gaming that I've never met in person.
Oh yeah.
Right. I've created bonds and relationships with people that I've never met in person. And I consider those people like good friends. Never met them.
My boy. Like what's his name? Toxic Pizza 2503. My dude.
Exactly. Like these are guys that you've never met before.
They're
like,
so solid. They're so solid.
Like that. So you game with my boy Tito.
Yes.
Tito is God. I've never met him.
You never met Tito?
I've never met. Well, I was hoping to meet him this year, but then coronavirus happened.
My dude, you guys were talking to me like you guys like. Wow, that's what gaming does. That's exactly what gaming does, man. Imagine if we had a headset back in the day when we were playing like GTA 3 or like playing Spyro the Dragon. Metal Gear Solid with a headset. Metal Gear Solid with a headset would be fire.
But yeah, it's amazing how you have these like online friends that you've never met before. And that's something that is so cool, that you can develop a relationship and a bond with someone. And I'm trying to get Tito on this podcast soon. You and Tito need to come together and do a podcast with me, because I feel like you two would come together and have such great energy. Such great energy. Dude, we gamed together for fucking one night and you guys had great energy.
Yeah,
we never met each other.
We lost though.
This is true. Lost. Well, Vic, that's your fault. The war zone is a tough place.
Yo, you know what? Call of Duty right now, I did mention that it is a stress reliever, but now Call of Duty is the one giving me the stress.
Well, because of the war zone, man. Like it went from it went from team deathmatch to a place where you're going into a battle royale when you go in with your friends and you're thinking to yourself like, we need to all work together. I think I'm a fucking soldier.
No, it's not that, bro. Like these kids are they're spending way too much time on this game, man. Like you literally, like I haven't even landed yet. Like my character's still parachuting, and I already got a bounty on me.
Ever die in the air?
Yo, like, okay, so that's also like a great topic to talk about, the evolution of gaming.
Absolutely,
dude.
Because gaming for us,
you have no idea how many times I want to throw this controllers and tell my
listen.
I wouldn't have. But
if I can get my boy online, I'm gonna get. You know what? You know what? Great moment of the podcast is when you call someone midway through and you try to convince him to come on the podcast. This never happens before, but it's gonna happen right now. You're also live, so it's happening.
Hold on one second. All right.
It's happening.
It's happening. Me and my buddy Vic are having a conversation about video games. I think you would love it.
I think you would love it, man.
He can't hear you because you're in my headset.
Okay.
But we're talking about the evolution of video games.
Okay. And you're podcasting right now?
Yeah. He's talking about the first time that he ever wanted to throw his controller and break it. And it just it made me want to call you because you have a great story about it.
Yeah. Okay. So you want to send me an invite?
I'm gonna send you an invite right. I'm sending you an invite right now.
Make sure he has a brew out with him.
All right, perfect.
I'm so cracking another beer when he picks up. Look at us. Look at us. Cheers.
This is what happens. Listen, this is what podcasting is all about, man. This is perfect.
This is perfect.
Ladies and gentlemen who are watching this episode, who are into gaming, you know what it's like. You know what it's like playing a game and being angry at the game and wanting to destroy your controller. Just send an invite to Wade, a podcast regular. He's going to join in, and he's gonna talk to us about the evolution of video games.
By the way, I'm gonna say it now. My game tag for PS4 is just my name, 2130. Vic San 2130. And I'm gonna say it again at the end of the video. That way you guys can add me. We can have a lot of fun. I'm on GTA 5.
Absolutely.
I am on Call of Duty. I am on Apex. I am also on Overwatch. And let's see what The Last of Us 2 gotta say.
I've heard good things about that.
Logic is in there now. I just saw a video.
Oh,
The rapper
really?
Logic. Yeah. I did see they did like a little teaser, and he's in the video game. It's pretty cool though. He's also a great gamer, actually.
Did you see that video of LeBron James's son, like playing against a guy, and he beat this guy's ranked in top 10 in 2K in the United States, and LeBron James's son beat him.
Brony.
Yeah. Here we go. Hey! And just like that, the podcast went from 2 to 3. Wait, so this is my boy Victor.
Hey, Victor.
Vic San. He was just talking about his first experience wanting to toss his controller, and you have
rage quit.
Well, rage quitting is a big part of gaming.
Yeah.
And you have a great story about rage quitting, and I'm going to give you an opportunity to tell it because this is absolutely hilarious.
Well, I was a big fan of the God of War games.
No.
Yeah. They have a high degree of difficulty. And I had a moment where I believe I was playing God of War Ascension, and you go up in an elevator, like one floor, you fight a bunch of enemies, then kill them all, you go to the next floor, blah, blah, blah. It repeats ad infinitum. And I finally got to the top floor. I had like this much health left. Literally, this one playthrough is taking like an hour of my life. And I get killed on the top floor, and it brings me all the way down to the bottom floor. And I literally looked at my PlayStation controller, and I was just like, bleep you, and bang, bang, R1 button, shot across the room, and it was a $49.99 mistake right in that moment. very easy to quantify the level of my rage quit in the moment. I actually swore off God of War games after that, and for as long as I did, until somebody enticed me back in and
they're good games.
Said, "Hey, the PS4." What's that?
I was just about to say that that's a great game, by the way. It's a great game.
Ascension or the new one?
Just God of War in general.
God of War in general.
But the new God of War.
I haven't played Ascension.
Yeah, Ascension was. Please just spare the equipment in your apartment. That experience. Horrific. Do God of War for the PS4. That was a good, like, soft reboot to the series. Definitely enjoyed the whole thing. Didn't destroy one controller.
That's good.
That was a nice change of pace.
Not one.
But yeah, I will say, out of all the games I've played, I think God of War Ascension and Bloodborne were the ones that most made me come close to property destruction.
Wait, do you remember what your first system was? So for me, it was Super Nintendo. Vic, it was, you said it was Sega Genesis. Do you know what yours was?
I think it was the original Xbox with Perfect Dark.
Okay.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah, I remember getting Super NES, and I had Zelda and Mario and all those games before I even picked up a PlayStation.
Yeah, I had all those. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's.
Did you play Duck? Did you play Duck Hunt? Duck Hunt?
No, so I didn't. I've played it, but I didn't own it. My cousins did own it, and they had the whole rifle and everything.
Oh yeah, I had the right. Yo, how about the frog game?
I've never played that.
Dude, it was like these two buff ass frogs. Like, I forgot the name of it. And then Alcantara too. I don't know how to say that. I don't know which. It's like two army soldiers. And it's like a 2D screen, and then they just shoot whatever. They're killing aliens.
Oh no, I've never played that game.
Oh, Contra.
Contra, yeah. There you go. Contra.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay, you know. At least somebody knows it.
Down, left, right. Everybody had a code for it.
No, it goes like this.
Unlimited lives.
Yo, listen, man. If that game, the thing is, you couldn't really throw the controller at the TV because it was connected to the system. It wasn't wireless. So it couldn't, so like, you really couldn't get that mad at the game. And the thing is, like, you know what used to piss me off back in the day about the system? Okay, so now we lag, right? Like, oh no, the shit is lagging.
Right, it's the worst thing to ever happen to you in the world.
If somebody bumped your Nintendo, dude, remember what happened to the screen? Like everything would just
taking the cassettes out and be like,
oh my God.
And that's a great, like, there are kids that exist today that only know that their console hooks up to the HDMI. They don't know about, like, adapters. They don't know about
Channel 3.
They don't know about Channel 3. There are so many people out there that don't know about Channel 3 and having that red, yellow, and white cord in order to be able to play your video game.
Oh,
yeah. I got a question, though, which I did hear this comment that was mentioned about the PSP. How crazy would you feel if the PSP came out right now? Like, you never knew about it, but it came out right now.
If the PSP was a thing that happened, I think...
because a lot of people were saying that it was too much ahead of its time.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
You think so?
But I think by the same token, now, based on how much handheld stuff goes on with everybody's phone and everything, now it's kind of behind its time. Yeah. So I don't know when exactly its time was, but it was ahead of it, and then it was
when
behind
it happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's
and
a good
I'm not
point.
sure. Yeah.
That's a great point, because when the PSP was first introduced, the graphics on it were way too good for any other handheld system. But if you introduce it
God.
now, we'd be looking at it. It's like, well, this is not good enough because I can buy an iPhone, a Samsung, and it's way better.
Download the damn game.
Yeah, it's a very interesting piece of technology. And personally, if I had a PSP right now, because they also had full games and like light versions of games, and I think they also introduced a way that you can do it online as well. But it's a great system.
You know what? Speaking of this, let's talk about those difficult games, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? They were just one player game. Like you like even if you had two controllers, like so this is a one. This game is built just for one player. We're talking about Metal Gear Solid, Splinter Cell. Huh? What about those games? Those games.
Yeah, I hated every one of them.
Oh my god!
No, I wanted to love all of them, but they were just so maddeningly frustrating. Yeah,
they were too much. Yeah, they were too much.
Too much.
So I'm a one-player game kind of person, but I finally found my limit to one-player games, and it was Red Dead Redemption 2, where
I got some stuff for that, but go on.
I love the game. I think it's a great game. I think everything about that game is like the graphics are great, the story is great. But why the hell do I need to dress myself, fucking bathe myself, take care of my horse?
Yeah, why do I need to bathe my horse? Why is that a thing?
He said, "Wait a minute, I got something for this one." Oh my! I never actually played the game that much, but you really gotta bathe the horse.
You have, if you don't bathe your horse, your relationship between you and your horse goes down, and then like your horse's speed is affected in it, and like your ability to control your horse they've taken it too far.
That's why I quit. Like I started playing The Witcher 3 the other day, and it's regarded as one of the great video games of all time. I've never played it before.
Mm-hmm.
Gave it a try, and I was like, wow, a lot of this feels like Red Dead Redemption, except it doesn't suck. That was it. It was like there were really good bits to Red Dead Redemption, but all the little shit you got bogged down in, especially like the bathing, the making sure you cut your beard down to the stubble, stuff like that. It just
you gotta cut your beard.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
If you 100%. If you don't bathe and cut your beard in Red Dead Redemption 2, it affects your character.
Oh my god.
I couldn't get through the storyline. I was like, I look, I have to do this shit when I wake up every day. Like, do I really need to do this in a video game in my downtime?
Oh my god.
But you're right.
So it would be a great video game for your boy then.
Like, it's one of the weirdest games where like, and once again, for all the women who are watching this, not sure what men do in their free time, it's that we play video games that emulate our real life, fucking activities.
No, but it really goes like, what are you doing? I'm going to my boy's house and play video games. Yeah, okay. No, literally going to my boy's house. That's literally what I'm doing.
What we're about to do. Who are you up all night with? I'm just playing video games with my boys. Sure you are. You're talking to a girl. No, I'm not. It's me and the squad. We're in the war zone. We're getting it done.
So you better shut up.
Wade, I have to get you in. So Wade doesn't play Call of Duty.
Not anymore. It's been about 3 or 4 iterations since I have.
I really want to my goal is to get you into the war zone.
So it goes like this. This is what I have to say. So if you die now in Call of Duty, you get to 1v1 somebody and go back and fight again. I told that to my friend who was like, "Get out." I was like, yeah. Because he hasn't played Call of Duty so much. He's like, dude, I think it was like Modern Warfare 1 or something like that I stopped buying Call of Duty. Mm-hmm. He's like, I don't know, the like with that, the map with the airport and all that stuff. I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't even know. There's so many maps. And then I just told him that too. I was like, yo, listen, when you die now, we have something called the Gulag. He said, a what? I'm like, the fucking Gulag, dude. Like, this shit it's lit in there.
It's like a prison.
It's like a prison, and you know, actually Google the Gulag.
It's a
Do you
real
know what the
thing.
Ghoul? It's a real thing.
It's a real
Yes,
thing.
it is.
And
Yes, I
was,
believe Stalin invented it.
Yes.
like facts. Like, and I was just like, wow, like this shit is for real. And yeah, when I told him that, you get to 1v1 somebody, and then if you win that match, you get deployed
Hi,
again
Monty.
to go.
Hey.
Monty's
Hey
a cat.
there.
Say hi. Hey.
This podcast has a lot of pets. Most recently, Chloe made an episode. Chloe's on the most recent episode.
So another thing that we're talking about too, my brother, is that they're gonna make a new copy of GTA 5 for the PS5. Actually, what do you guys think about the PS5? Have you ever seen those memes already?
So I will say this. I'll start off by saying 100% they're gonna get my money. There's no question about that.
Oh, for facts.
Agreed.
The next generation. Like,
there is no question that they're gonna get my money, but at the same time, I don't like the way it looks, and I don't like the controller. But I will give them my money. As far as I've heard, it's going to be around
$750.
Yeah, around that price, $600 to $700 is what we're looking at.
It's not bad. Well, I don't know.
Well,
is it?
Yeah. I don't know. I have an issue with the fact that the existing hardware hasn't even been pushed to the extent of what it can do.
Right?
Like it's not like it's lagging behind. It's not like the Xbox One is kicking its ass to the point where people aren't on PS4s right now. I don't understand this whole thing where, oh yeah, so every 6 to 7 years we've got to come over to a new set of hardware. That isn't even where they make their money. They make their money off software.
Yeah.
So why spend $1 billion developing a PS5 when the PS4 you haven't even tapped the potential of it yet? I don't think that most people's televisions are going to be able to, and I'm speaking from a place of ignorance here, but I'm just saying the way technology works, I do not think that the televisions that are in most people's living rooms right now are going to be commensurate with a jump up in technology from what the PS4 already does.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. It feels like it's 5 years too soon.
Well, they said that they're going to have 8K gaming. They've promised 8K gaming, so we'll see if they're able to deliver on that.
Well, yeah, but do we have televisions that can?
We have televisions, but unfortunately, we do have televisions that can do 8K gaming. Unfortunately, the cheapest television that can do it is about $5,000.
Yeah,
right.
So you don't have it in a plethora of in a plurality of living rooms. There isn't a television that can take advantage of the PS5. So it's a vanity purchase to say I'm going to buy a PS5 to get with the consumer purchase that everybody else has to make right around the holiday season.
Nonetheless, they will get my money. So Sony, if someone from Sony ends up watching this video, hey man, how about you sponsor this video? Send me a nice cave.
I already gave you some free advertising.
Yeah, you already got some free advertising. You know I'm gonna buy it.
I'll buy the console. Just give me the controller. I'll take that.
Listen, just sponsor the podcast. Send me an 8K TV. Send me a PS5. You don't even have to send me the PS5. I'll buy the PS5.
PS5, literally.
I'll buy it because you know you're gonna get my money from that already. But you're right though. Wait, you're absolutely right. Is number one is most households right now probably don't have a television that can support what they're.
I don't have a TV that supports that.
Most households.
I have 2 TVs I'm very happy with, and neither one of them are going to do more than what the PS4 is able to do now.
Exactly.
Like I don't get why this is a necessity, and what is it's a lot of diminishing returns at a certain point. Like how much more detail can you see from a pixelation perspective? Like I have gone through, Skyrim. Like I've gone through all the post-apocalyptic ravaged wastelands of Fallout, and I felt like I've been there. I'm like, how much more real to life are you going to make this?
Yeah.
And it just seems gratuitous. Like, we're at this point now where I haven't heard anybody clamoring or complaining about the video game options we have right now. If anything, we have too many, and they're too engrossing. Which has been great for the pandemic.
I believe that the new Call of Duty that's out right now lets you customize, choose like very specific what you want your controller to do.
Yeah.
You can decide what each button wants you to do. I think. I'm not sure. I haven't dived too far into it, but I know there's a lot of customization that's available to you.
Yeah,
I'm definitely getting that Spider-Man Miles Morales though.
You haven't played that? Did I? So Wade has that game, and I borrowed it from him.
Not the Miles Morales one. He's talking about something different.
The original
Miles Morales is the alternate version where it's
the alternate version of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He's Puerto Rican. He's a Puerto Rican Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So I will say that. So I haven't played that yet, but I borrowed the first one from Wade.
That's supposed to be one of the great. The Miles Morales thing. I think it's Brian Michael Bendis, but I'm not sure which. I think that's the comic book writer behind it, but it actually broke the comic book universe to have a Puerto Rican Spider-Man. It was like a huge deal, and then I think somewhere along the line,
shout out to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, somewhere along the line, Childish Gambino got considered to be Spider-Man. It was a thing, and white people got really mad, and they did that. But
I played that game that you lent me, and it is absolutely the best Spider-Man game that has been released.
Oh my God, that game is bananas.
That game is it is to a point where the web slinging is so realistic.
Yeah, they forced it in that game.
And then all of a sudden, there's like a woman getting mugged over here, but you're so involved in the web slinging right now.
You're like,
I can save her, but I really need to hit, L2 right now in order to make sure that I maintain this swing.
I just got so lost in every one of the opportunities you just described that it took me probably 45 hours to finish the game because, every time, there's a bunch of guys with machine guns down there, got to whip them up. And it was, honestly, I would not have bought the game if it hadn't been given to me. And because I've never been a huge Spider-Man fan, that was one of the best PS games I've played. Just so engrossing. Combat mechanics were great. The like you said, Richard, the web slinging mechanics. Really
it's the most realistic. It's the most realistic.
Yeah. It's smooth. It's so smooth.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to listen. You got it. I'm trying to get you into the war zone. I talked to Joe about it. Did he tell you that?
Joe Body?
No, your cousin.
Oh, my cousin. I got multiple Joes going on here, so you gotta narrow that shit down. No, he did.
Oh, you cracking another Modelo? Let it happen.
Look at us.
I love your mug.
Oh,
it's unnecessarily large.
No, it's not, dude. It's just ahead of its time.
I was talking to your cousin because he was online, and I tried to. He was playing Borderlands, but I've seen him play Call of Duty in the morning, so I tried to get him in, and I talked to him about it, and he was saying that he plays from time to time, but usually in the morning, the way that his schedule works, it's better for him to play Borderlands than Call of Duty. And he was
I went down the road with him. Apparently, Borderlands is. Well, can I swear here? Can I swear?
Yeah, absolutely.
Apparently, Borderlands is fucked right now. From unfortunately, like they just nerfed and buffed the game to the point where it's like you need 3 guns or else you can't. You can't.
That is the same thing. The same thing I feel about Overwatch. I don't know if you played Overwatch, but
I haven't. What, Destiny?
Yeah, that's where they got it from, pretty much. Like, it's like a copy of it, like a little, mix or whatever. But they have a similar gun, and I didn't play Dynasty yet though. But I started off, I went straight to. No, wait, we're talking. That's Apex. That's compared to it. Sorry. not Overwatch.
Apex.
That's
Yep.
Apex.
Okay.
I'm sorry. So Overwatch, it was just like that. I remember, like, when the first game first came out, dude, you have to be like, if you was a good gamer, you're pretty good at the game. But they buffed it, nerfed it so much that now, like, everybody's just so soft. Like, you have to literally, like, before, like, it would take one round to kill a character. You gotta mop and weep and reload, and now there's healers. Oh my god, it's a crazy game. It's a crazy game.
Well, my cousin was explaining the state that Borderlands 3 is in right now.
Mm.
My cousin that you just referenced.